Yes, good evening, my dear students. Yesterday we started a protein structure up to certain extent. Yesterday completed and remaining part. And I have to recap peptide bond formation and what is C and N terminus and C terminus. That is very, very important. What about the names of ends of protein? So first of all, we have to look into what about a peptide bond formation, mechanism of peptide bond formation within the protein at the time of protein formation, how peptide bond is established. Okay, so take one or two amino acids, two enough. Or third amino acid also we'll take third one also today. So this one is alpha carbonatom of first amino acid. For example, methionine. This is methionine amino acid. Alpha carbonatom. Okay, so here it is a COOH carboxylic group. Okay, and this one is NH2 amine. So this amine is attached to formyl group. Okay, so in the first amino acid, methionine, for example, this is methionine, R group and H. Methionine is an amino acid and it is a formyl methionine. Formyl methionine. This one is formyl methionine. Okay, that formyl group is attached to amino group. So that's why in the first amino acid, amino group is not available for the formation of peptide bond. So only carboxyl group is available. Okay, so OH of that carboxyl group of first amino acid with the next one. So in the next amino acid, H, NH, alpha carbonatom, R group, hydrogen and COOH. Okay, and take one more amino acid also. Hydrogen, NH, alpha carbonatom, COOH. Like that, continue it. Okay. So OH and hydrogen atom removed in the form of H2O, one molecule of H2O. Here also one molecule of H2O, dehydration. So peptide bond is formed by dehydration. So out of first amino acid, which group is involved? Carboxylic group, OH of carboxylic group. And out of second amino acid, which one is involved? Amino group. Hydrogen atom coming from NH2. Okay, so bond growth is C bond N, C bond N. So after formation of peptide bond, see, alpha carbon atom, NH2. Okay, so bond CO, bond NH, peptide bond. One, next one, carbon atom, R group, H, R group. Here also CONH, second peptide bond, and COOH, R group, H. Okay, so this is peptide bond present between CO and NH, CO and NH, continue it. So bond formation is in between carbon and nitrogen. C bond N. C bond N. Okay, so what about the terminus? Yesterday I told you here. Okay, starting end. This is a N, means NH2. So this is N terminus, starting one. N terminus. N terminus, starting one. Okay, so this is N terminus. C bond N, C bond N, like that. C bond N, C bond N, and continue it. And here also many are there. Bond formation C bond N, C bond N, and finally COOH group of last amino acid free. So this end is a C terminus. Okay, so this is a starting part and this is the end part. Okay, so that's about a formation of peptide bond. Okay, so peptide bond formation is in C bond N direction. And what about the starting and the ending termini N and C? N is nothing but amino group of first amino acid which is not involved in the formation of peptide bond. COOH is carboxylic group of last amino acid that is not involved in the formation of peptide bond. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, you have written that it is formyl methionine.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the whole molecule or only that
Yeah.
one amino acid?
This is amino group. To this, some functional group is attached. Formyl group.
Okay, sir.
So as it is attached with amino group, amino group is not suitable for formation of peptide bond. As it is blocked by that one or attached with this one, it is not able to produce a peptide bond. So that's why out of these two, which one is free for the formation of peptide bond? COOH. So on behalf of first amino acid, COOH is involved in the formation of first peptide bond. So that's why from there onwards, bond formation is C bond N, C bond N. Okay. So
Sir, I am asking that you have written that it is methionine.
yeah, methionine.
So
This is amino. Yes, this is methionine. Methionine is amino acid. And
okay,
that methionine is called as formyl methionine. Reason, formyl group is attached to NH2 group.
okay, sir.
Okay. Copy it. Take the screenshot.
So it is a protein.
Protein means minimum 100 amino acids are required. Just I gave you certain number of amino acids. Protein means it is some part of protein. Like this, for example, amino acid 1, 2, 3, continue it up to minimum 100 amino acids. Then it is a protein. Some part of the protein.
Okay.
Okay, next. So here, what are the subunits of a protein? In the formation of protein, what are the subunits involved in the construction of a protein? What is that subunit? Anybody? What are
Amino
the
acid.
building amino acids? What are the bricks of protein? Bricks of protein. Amino acids. Amino acid is structural unit, basic unit involved in the construction of a protein. So here, our body is able to synthesize non-essential amino acids and not able to produce essential amino acids. So to produce protein with essential amino acids, we have to take that one in the form of diet only, dietary proteins in the form of diet only, external source only. Reason our body is not able to produce essential amino acids. Reason we are not having that mechanism. Only plant is the source for that one, or some other animal. Okay, right? So that is about just protein structure. What is protein? Is it clear? Now I am erasing
Yes,
the
sir.
board. Okay. Now what about structure of protein? Protein structure. So before looking into protein structure, we should know what is the structure of a molecule with the help of chemistry knowledge, physics knowledge, and biology knowledge. You have to discuss what about structure. Okay, so here, what is the meaning of structure? How to define structure? So what about the structure of a molecule? Okay, so what is a structure? According to inorganic chemistry. So first take inorganic chemistry. According to inorganic chemistry, the structure means, what is that structure? According to inorganic chemistry, structure is nothing but a formulae or formula. For example, NaCl, MgCl2, like that. So just the formula itself is structure according to inorganic chemistry. And according to organic chemistry, structure with the help of organic chemistry. So according to organic chemistry, two-dimensional, 2D, two-dimensional structures. For example, benzene ring-like structures, benzene and naphthalene, like that. So many examples. Benzene ring-like structures, benzene ring or sucrose ring, okay, glucose ring.
இது அன்படி
Okay, sorry for the disturbance. So according to organic chemistry, two-dimensional studies, benzene ring, naphthalene ring, and a ring-like structure, so glucose ring, like that. And according to physics, they are doing 3D, three-dimensional structures, third level, primary, secondary, tertiary, like that. So 3D, three dimensions. But according to biology, we are having three levels of study. We are different. So we have to study protein structure. First one, primary structure. Okay, and the second one, secondary structure. Third one, tertiary. And the fourth one, quaternary. we are with four levels of study of structure. So that is the meaning of so-called structure. So as we are concerned with biology, we have to discuss protein structure with the help of what is primary, what is secondary, what is tertiary, and quaternary. Okay, is it clear? Remember this one. Take the screenshot and copy it. Okay, now I am erasing the board.
Okay, sir.
Now come back. What about protein structure according to biology? So first one, primary structure. What is primary structure? First level. So a protein at a primary structure is generally non-functional. So this protein is recently produced one, nascent protein, nascent, youngest protein. Okay, so this protein is a non-functional protein. So the protein at primary structure is generally non-functional, means that is a raw protein. Raw. Just I'm giving these words to understand the concept only. Raw protein, nascent protein, youngest protein. Okay, immature protein. Raw protein means immature. Immature protein. Okay, so what about the primary structure? Primary structure means just a sequence of amino acids only. For example, amino acid, peptide bond, amino acid, peptide bond, amino acid, peptide, straight one. This one, n number of amino acids. Okay, so here protein is a straight rod-like structure. Okay, so it is straight one without foldings. So this protein at primary structure is straight chain without coils and foldings. It is a straight rod-like one. Okay, right? So it represents just a sequence of amino acids only. So representing sequence of amino acids. So that is about primary level. And what about the secondary level? Gradually, protein is subjected to modification. Primary is converted into next level, that is a secondary level. Go back to Golgi complex. Okay, processing and refinement of protein is taking place on the surface of the cisternae. If the protein is transported from cis to trans, it was given there. So initially produced protein was primary, nascent. To convert that one into either secondary or tertiary or quaternary, processing is required. Okay.
Refining.
So, yeah, refining. Secondary structure. So what is secondary structure? So secondary structure is a helical structure. It is a helical. So gradually now protein is folded. So it is a spring-like structure. Generally right-handed coiling. So this one is N terminus. This one is a C terminus. Okay, so now a little bit coils are formed. Coil 1, 2. So now it is not straight. coils are present. See, gradually straight protein, for example, this is a protein. So rod-like protein converted, changed into a spring-like structure. This is a straight protein converted into spring-like. Hello, please mute, Amma. Please mute. Please mute. Please mute.
ఇప్పుడు చల్లగా
Okay. Secondary structure. So protein at secondary structure also non-functional. Okay, so this is also not functional, not able to perform a physiological function. So this is also usually non-functional. Okay, non-functional. Next one, third one, very, very important, that is tertiary structure. Wait, in your textbook or some diagrams given for secondary structure. What about a secondary structure given in your textbook? So secondary structure with two examples given in your textbook. One is alpha helix, and the second one beta plated sheets given. Just a helix we have to draw, that's it. Helical structure. A ribbon like, take the ribbon, make it coils. Make it coiled. Okay, ribbon. N terminus, C terminus with amino acids and concerned peptide bonds. Okay, and continue it like this. C terminus. So that is a twisted ribbon. Next, beta plated sheets, sheet-like structures. 1, 2, and so on. Continue it. Okay. And continue it. So that is about a beta plated sheets, secondary structure. That is also one type of helix, but they look like in the like a flattened structures, plate-like structures, sheet-like structures. This one is a ribbon-like structure. Okay. Right. So secondary structure also non-functional. Reflection. Next, third level. Tertiary level. Okay. Okay. So tertiary level. What about the structure of a tertiary level protein? That one is gradually coiled. Now it is a hollow woolen ball-like structure. First, dummy diagram. So N terminus, C terminus. Okay, right? In your textbook, it looks like a labyrinth. Labyrinth means like intestine-like structure. It was given like this. See, now I'm giving dummy one. For example, this is a protein. Okay, this is a protein at a so-called tertiary structure. Okay, so this region is having binding site. For example, this is an enzyme. For example, enzyme or carrier protein, a protein concerned with transportation of materials, whatever it is. Okay, so what about this site? This site is a binding site. It is called as binding site. Binding site or active site. In general, it is called as a pocket, crevices, cleft, opening, purpose to transport a so-called one. Binding site or active site. So this enzyme is having certain number of binding sites, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. That depends on type of the enzyme. So the protein at tertiary structure, tertiary level is functional one. So this one is biologically active. Biologically active means able to perform a biological function. For example, this is an enzyme. For example, only the dummy diagram A, and A is the substrate, for example, some substrate, whatever it is. So this is enzyme. What happened? Tertiary structure is a hollow woolen ball. It is a ball-like structure. Hollow means inside some cavity is present. Woolen, woolen ball. On the surface of woolen ball, a number of pockets are present. Pockets, openings. These are called as the pockets. So to understand that concept, I took the dummy one, that is an enzyme, for example, and having certain number of pockets. Here the pocket is binding site or active site. So suppose this is an enzyme, for example. What about the role of this enzyme? Okay, so now A is binded at the binding site. So gives rise enzyme plus A substrate. A is binded. Okay, so now this complex is called as a enzyme A complex, means substrate complex. Now it is able to convert, A will be converted into, for example, B product. Now this is called as enzyme B product complex. Enzyme product complex. Okay, enzyme binding site, concern substrate, whatever the substrate. Now A is binded to the binding site of the enzyme. So the complex is enzyme substrate complex. A is substrate, whatever the substrate, some molecule. In a biochemical reaction, A is converted into B product. For that one, enzyme is required. Okay. So enzyme substrate complex, next enzyme product complex. Now dissociation of that one into as it is enzyme plus B product. So as this enzyme is having binding site, it is able to convert A into B product. So biologically, protein at tertiary level is active, able to perform a number of reactions, not only conversion of substrate to product, transportation of materials also. Under the heading plasma membrane, functions of plasma membrane, we studied the role of protein. So what about the role of protein? There we studied one, it may be hormone, a carrier protein, an enzyme able to convert substrate into product. So multiple functions are there or not? So hence the name protein is called as molecular chaperone, able to perform a number of functions. So primary structure not suitable for biochemical reactions. Second one not suitable. But what about third one, third level? It is able to perform a biochemical reaction. So biologically active structure of protein is tertiary structure. Reason it is having binding sites. What is that binding site? Active site, crevices, pocket, where a substrate is binded. To convert or to transport some molecule or to convert A into B, compulsory that substrate must be associated with a concerned enzyme. Okay, is it clear? So that is about tertiary structure. Copy it, take down. Okay, completed. Any objection? Okay, now I am arranging the board, right? And fourth one, last one. Yeah, dummy, to understand. To understand the concept I gave you. And the fourth one, quaternary structure, fourth level. Okay. So here given example is hemoglobin. Hemoglobin. So it is a globular protein. So here the thing is, in the enzyme, in most of the enzymes, in most of the carrier proteins, number of proteins involved is usually one. But in some cases, either hemoglobin or insulin or some other hormone, more than one polypeptide chain is involved. So quaternary structure is represented by a molecule with more than one polypeptide chain. So quaternary structure is usually formed by, it is formed by more than one polypeptide chain. More than one polypeptide. For example, take hemoglobin. What is the purpose of hemoglobin? What is the function of hemoglobin? That is well known to you. Transportation of oxygen. Okay, so hemoglobin is a chemically, it is protein, proteinaceous, and concerned with the transportation. Its role is a transportation. It is a carrier protein. Transportation carrier protein. Okay, so for the formation of functional hemoglobin, what about the total number of kinds of polypeptide chains required? So 2 alpha polypeptides, 2 beta polypeptides. So how many kinds? 2 kinds only. 2 types, alpha and beta. And what about the number of, see, 2 alpha, 2 polypeptides. So how many? Better you take like this, alpha, better wait, alpha polypeptide, beta polypeptide. So how many alpha 2 alpha chains, 2 beta chains. So total number 4 polypeptides. How many kinds? Kinds 2. So 2 is to 4, 1 is to 2 ratio. Okay, so 2 kinds of polypeptide chains. Overall, what about the total number of polypeptides present? 4 polypeptides. So it is hemoglobin, one hemoglobin, one hemoglobin is tetra polypeptide. Okay. Generally, protein or an enzyme which is at a quaternary structure is generally a string thread-like string of spheres or plate-like structures, one by one above the other, plate-like structure, spheres, a string of spheres, spherical shaped structures are in the form of plates. Okay. So hemoglobin at quaternary structure only able to perform that transportation mechanism. So at the time of formation of hemoglobin, first formation of polypeptides converted to primary, secondary, tertiary, finally that should be converted into quaternary structure. Then only it is able to transport concerned one, means oxygen. Okay, so that is about protein structure. Okay, is it clear? Take down, copy it. Okay, is it clear? Today enough. Tomorrow we'll discuss remaining part of biomolecules. So out of organic chemical analysis, what we studied there, within the so-called cheesecloth or paper, acid insoluble fraction was present. That acid insoluble fraction was with lipids completed, polysaccharides completed, protein completed, DNA, nucleic acids completed. Okay. Now, what about biomolecules and what about classification of biomolecules or metabolites? Metabolites, what are the metabolites? We'll see that metabolites tomorrow. Okay. Bye. See you. We will meet tomorrow. Okay. Bye. See you.